Hey friends, welcome to Tech Harvesting. In today's video, we are going to have a look at how we can use maps in JavaScript. Maps are a super awesome feature in JavaScript where it can store objects in a key value pair where the key can be any type of data. For example, on an object, we would have only a string as a key, but in maps, you can have it as any kind of data, like an array, an object, or even a number or boolean. So that's how cool maps are, and today we'll have a look at how we can use maps and the different functions we can use in them. So before we start, make sure to subscribe and let's get right into the video. Files in here. One is the index.html and one is the script.js. So in the script.js, we're going to be writing our JavaScript just like what we do in any other project. And I've not linked up the script yet, which is what I'm going to be doing next. So let's go ahead, create a script tag with a src of script.js. Now open it up in live server, as you can see in here, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the console too and have it side by side. There you go. So you can see in that the script file, I'm just logging in maps, which is what it's shown in there. So first let's have a look at what a map is. So a map is just similar to an object, but you have different ways of accessing things inside. You can have multiple keys and values, just like an object. Just that there's a bit of difference inside, and you can think it kind of like a mix of an array and an object. So let's start by creating a map, and more things, you'll understand more things while we do them. So we'll just do them right now. So to create a map, we just do const map, which is what I'm going to name it, equals new map, which is what we are going to be doing. So we can just create a new map from the map class. So you can just do new map, and this map is of map any. So this map can have data of types any. So that's what we're doing right here. We'll understand that more, so we'll have a look at an example right now. So for example, we want to set something inside the map. So you want map.set, and for example, I'll give you an example with the object first. So you have an object, and for that you're gonna have name Nasil, for example. So for the same thing to happen in the map, you do set name and then the value Nasil. And now I'm gonna console.log the map, and if you were to come back here now, you can see we have map with one item, and inside that we have like this. You can see name is Nasil, name is the key, and Nasil is the value. Now if you want to get this, you can do const name equals map dot get, and we can give in the key, which is the name. And then if you were to log even the name in here, and if you return here, let me just save it and reload once, you can see we are getting Nasil, which is what it's getting from inside. Now you can just ignore this line in here. It says that it's deprecated. That's because I used the name. If it has something like name W or something, it works. So just ignore that for now. And that's how we can set and get items from a map. The other interesting thing about a map is that the key does not always have to be a string. It could be, for example, a number. And you could have map.get3, and that's gonna give us the same thing. If you were to reload, you can see it's getting that, and the key is a number in this case. The same applies. You could have a boolean too in here, but if you were to have an object with like that, you can see we're getting an error in here because objects, this thing's not going to be working. This is going to be working only in a map. That's a really important feature that you can understand when comparing maps and objects, which is that maps can have the keys as anything. It can be a number, it can be an object too in here. For example, you can have just an empty object, and if you do that, that will also mostly work. You can have an array, whatever it is, it's going to be working. You know, also have a boolean in here. So that's a great thing about maps. You can use any kind of data structure like a string, a number, a boolean, or something like that, which we can't do in regular objects. The next function which we're going to be looking at is map.size. It's not a function, but this is a property. So if you were to log this out in here, let me just remove those. This is going to give us the length. So right now we are having two objects. For now, let's set some more objects, for example 4 and something like that. Obviously, don't forget we can have anything in here, so this can also be a string. And then if we were to come back here, we actually don't need this too. So if we were to come back here, you can see we're getting 4. That's because there are 4 objects inside this map. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's another great thing we can do with maps. We can get the size just like an array. So that's why I told it's kind of like a mix of an object and an array. Look at is the has function. So we can get to know if a map has a particular key. So we can do map. So I'll just do console.log actually. So we can log in map.has. And we're gonna give in the key. So we're gonna check if a key is there inside the map. If it's there, it returns true, else it returns false. So for example, if I give in hello as the key, it's a string, we know that there's a hello in there, so we should get a true in there. I'm gonna remove that log too. So if we return in here, we're getting true. Now if I were to give something that does not exist like that and come back here, we are gonna be getting false, as you can see. So that's another handy function to check if a key is there inside a map. Map object is going to be the map.clear, which we're going to have a look at. This is very simple. It just entirely clears the map to have nothing inside it. So we can do map.clear, and once we did that, we can, if we were to log out our map, you can see it's just a map with nothing inside. So it has 0 objects inside with size 0. So that's the clear function. Next, we can also have a look at the delete function. So we can do map.delete, and we can give it the key just like what we did here. So for example, if I delete the 8 object, the key with the object with the key 8, which is this one, JavaScript. If you come back here, we can see there's no JavaScript in there, and there's no object with the key 8. We can do the same thing, for example, with hello. And if you come back here, as you can see, there's no hello now, only 3, 4 with these values. So that's maps and the basics of how we can use maps in your application. So that was it for this video. I just want to show you how we can use maps in JavaScript, and this can be really useful in different places. So in the examples, you might not find it much useful because we didn't implement it in the project, but when you do something, you will find it very, very useful. So that was it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye friends.